Willie D Live.
What's up, family? You won't believe this one. In the 1950s, the U.S. Army secretly sprayed a black neighborhood in St. Louis with zinc cadmium sulfide, a chemical containing a known carcinogen, to simulate a biological attack. Decades later, residents are demanding answers, the truth, and compensation from those uncivilized mutts. Damn! And do you see how we're constantly under attack? Even to this day, we cannot trust this government. This is Cold-Blooded Fam. I am going to read to you what one survivor said. But first, let me bring you up to speed. This started in the 1950s, but it ran through the 1960s. The residents' fight gained momentum in recent years, with lawmakers pushing to expand the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act. In July 2025, Donald Trump, your president, signed the expansion into law, making St. Louis residents newly eligible for federal payouts. While applications have not yet opened and advocates warn of scams, the long-denied community finally has a path to recognition and maybe, just maybe, justice? Yeah. Now, this is St. Louis. You think they didn't hit some other cities? Do you believe, just maybe, they also use other black neighborhoods throughout America, other cities throughout America, with black neighborhoods as guinea pigs? Now here comes the cold part, fam. Brace yourself. Biological warfare against black people in the United States has always been a thing. I'm talking about from strange toxins to disease to experiments. We're talking putting chemicals in our food and water supply. Yeah, there is a way to target black communities. You know that, right? All swept under the rug. We may never know about some of the stuff they've done. Other stuff they've done, we'll find out maybe 50 to 100 years from now. To be clear, when I say government, I'm not just talking about federal. I'm talking about state and local. I'm talking about the judicial system and law enforcement. Because when something goes awry, the government has the power to step in and make it right. But they won't do that because they're all part of the scheme. You know, every time I think about these atrocities against black people at the bloody hands of the U.S. government, I'm often reminded of this persona that America likes to show the world how it's the world's protector, how it goes out and it fights for human rights and just wags his finger at these other countries for human rights violations, while at the same time doing even worse. So it got me thinking, like, is there a country out there that's brave enough to hold the U.S. accountable like the U.S. holds other countries accountable? You know, like the U.S. will send, soldiers into other countries to remove presidents and prime ministers and stuff. I mean, they don't play about that human rights violation stuff, right? So who checks the checker? The UN is supposed to be the father or something, the godfather of humanity or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, well, have they held America accountable for its crimes against black people? Ever? Got me thinking, well, you know what? Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm trying to hold them accountable for a job that isn't theirs. So I looked up what the purpose of the UN was for, right? Turns out it was founded after the Second World War, and the UN aims to prevent conflict, provide humanitarian aid, protect human rights, and promote sustainable development. They can throw that whole damn organization away because they ain't did nothing over here as far as I'm concerned. All of them scared of the US. All of them are scared. None of them really care. These organizations ain't nothing but a money grab. These organizations are a money grab, and they're in place to maintain the status quo. That's it, fam. We're on our own. If you really look at it, we're on our own. This is what a person who claims to be a survivor said on social media. They started in the 50s and stopped in the 90s. I was born in the 80s. We grew up thinking it was killing mosquitoes or certain insects or whatever. We literally used to run through the fog as kids, just being kids. And now that I think about it, most of the elders in the neighborhood, Northside St. Louis, Walnut Park to be exact, passed from some form of cancer. You know, you gotta ask yourself, every time we see these statistics, blacks are more likely to die of this, blacks, and we're like that at the bottom of every single poll, every single survey. We're just at the bottom, and we get the worst. How much of that is hereditary? How much of it is self-inflicted? And how much of it is a result of being targeted by our government? The latter, I do believe, applies more often than not. We have to be diligent. We are living behind enemy lines. That's right, I said it. We are living behind enemy lines. You think they really stopped in St. Louis? Homie, don't think so. And they said they stopped in the 60s. But according to this victim, this survivor, it didn't stop till the 90s. So you have to ask yourself, the next time you see one of those trucks coming through spraying and they're talking about this is pesticide, this is to kill the mosquitoes, are they talking about the little insects, or are they talking about the two-legged dark-skinned mosquitoes? It's a cold game, man. I mean, the more I learn about the stuff they've done to us, good Lord, man, our people have suffered. I'm talking about unnecessarily. We have been targeted over and over and over again. And it's a new scheme every few years. Every decade, it's a great atrocity that you look back on and you say, damn, how could a nation, let me back up, this is not a nation, these are people. How could elected officials, in concert with business owners in a country, do their own citizens like that? How could they do that to any citizens? It really takes a morally bankrupt demon to do something like that. You got to be the devil's advocate to do some of the stuff these people have done. And when I say these people, if the shoe fit, wear it. I'm talking about the people who was involved. If you had a hand in it, I'm talking about you. If your ancestors had a hand in it, I'm talking about them. If you are continuing the cycle, I'm talking about your ass. RIP to the deceased. My condolences to all of the victims and survivors who have been negatively impacted by the scheming of these demons. And you want to join the military. No more talk.
Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? How did we get this way? How do we get this way? How do we go back to yesterday? Yesterday. Where do we go from here? Where do we go now? How did we get this way? How do we get this way? How do we go back to yesterday?
We looking forward but walking backwards. We both wanna win but we both inaccurate. Two sides but no one wants to be